Welcome back to Digital Rage. I am Jeff, the producer here at Fish Tank Digital. Our latest cybersecurity web app integration is Pipedrive. Today we explore Fish Tank Digital's specialized intelligence layer and data sync integration with Pipedrive. By capturing and sharing user data across sales channels, we enhance attribution as well as personalize the sales funnel for better conversion rates. Let's check it out.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're peeling back the curtain on how successful sales organizations are completely overhauling their CRM infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take Pipedrive, which is, a powerful tool for managing stages, and talk about transforming it into a real-time intelligence engine.
Right.
Our focus today is pretty simple. Moving beyond just tracking a pipeline of anonymous names to actually accelerating deals with profound, complete prospect intelligence.
And that distinction, from just a name to intelligence, that is the core challenge we saw across all the source material. Pipedrive is phenomenal for workflow management. I mean, it's great.
It is.
But if you rely on the standard out-of-the-box integrations, you create this critical and silent data gap. And your sales teams, especially in complex B2B sectors, are essentially flying blind.
Flying blind. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, they're just starved of the context, the behavioral detail they need to convert those high-value leads.
And that data scarcity is really our mission today. We're going to unpack the exact architecture you need to build a comprehensive intelligence layer that fills that gap immediately.
Mm-hmm.
We'll expose the invisible risks that are probably lurking in your current setup, reveal how your own corporate website can be transformed from a static brochure into a real-time behavioral sensor.
I love that term.
And we'll dive into some specialized high-impact enhancements, particularly for fields like cybersecurity sales where, context is everything. Okay, so let's unpack this setup problem first. We all love Pipedrive. Its simplicity is great for stages and deal progress, but the source material is really clear on this.
Very clear.
If you're only capturing a name and email, maybe a phone number, what are the crucial types of intelligence you're consistently missing out on?
It's really a loss of behavior and context.
Mm-hmm.
And it boils down to 4 sort of invisible risks that are actively undermining your sales velocity.
Okay, let's walk through those 4.
So risk number 1 is what we'd call anonymous engagement. You're missing all the crucial early intent signals.
Why?
Because a visitor remains completely unknown until they, take the specific step of filling out a form or requesting a demo. That means all the valuable research they did on your site is just invisible.
So we missed the entire exploratory phase, the whole beginning of the buyer journey.
The whole thing, which is often the most important signal of intent. They only become a lead when they're ready to talk, not when they start researching.
Right. Okay, what's risk number 2?
Number 2 is a real marketing killer. Attribution levels.
The ROI problem.
Exactly. If your system can't accurately track which paid ad, which referral site, those UTM parameters, tracking your campaign ROI becomes completely impossible.
You can't justify the spend.
You can't. You can't prove which specific campaigns are actually feeding the pipeline. You're just guessing.
And that forces marketing to just guess where to allocate their budget. What's the third risk?
The third is just operational drag. We'll call it incomplete profile. So a lead hits Pipedrive, and it's mostly empty.
Right. It's a name and an email.
And this demands immediate manual research from your SDRs. The very people who should be focused on outreach and qualification, not detective work.
And that lag slows down response time. We all know those first 5 minutes are critical.
Absolutely.
And what's the fourth one? I think this one is most frustrating for an actual seller.
It is. It's the lack of an activity timeline.
Yeah.
The sales team just has no visibility into what that prospect was doing, what they were consuming before they reached out.
So did they just look at the About Us page?
Or were they digging into your technical docs and the pricing matrix just seconds before they hit submit? That context, it dictates the entire first conversation.
And this problem just gets amplified tenfold when you look at complex sales cycles, specifically in cybersecurity. The sources really highlighted this.
They did.
So what does this lack of intelligence mean for a sales rep trying to make an informed, compelling call about a security solution?
It means they are truly calling leads blind. They can't personalize the pitch. They don't know the prospect's technical authority, or if they care more about, say, NIST or HIPAA compliance frameworks.
Or what security stack they already have in place.
So the SDR might waste 10 minutes talking about the wrong product feature entirely.
What a waste of time.
It is. And in cybersecurity, specific engagement, like downloading a white paper on zero trust architecture or reading a threat intelligence report, that is totally lost without this intelligence layer.
So marketing spends all this money creating the content.
Fortunes.
Yeah.
But they can't track if it actually drives pipeline velocity or increases the average deal size. It's this fundamental disconnect between effort and outcome that is just sinking efficiency.
Okay, so if the problem is data scarcity and this operational drag, let's dive into how this intelligence engine actually works. How does it source and structure the data? You called it a complete intelligence layer.
Right, and it effectively turns your website into that powerful real-time sensor.
So how does that happen? What are the mechanics?
It's all about capture and enrichment happening at the same time, making the data actionable from the get-go. It starts with real-time session tracking.
Okay.
It uses first-party cookies to accurately map the journey of both anonymous visitors and known users across your entire site.
So we're mapping the entire breadcrumb trail even before they fill out a form.
Absolutely. The second an IP address hits the site, the tracking begins. Then, crucially, we layer on what's called technographic enrichment.
And that's more than just company size and industry, right?
Oh, way beyond that.
Yeah.
It automatically scans for crucial system clues, like if the company is running a competing platform, or if their infrastructure signals a high readiness for your specific solution.
That saves hours, sure, but what's the potential downside of relying on that kind of technical data? Is there a risk of it being, I don't know, a bit outdated or maybe too technical for the sales rep?
That's a great point about data quality. The best systems mitigate that risk in two ways. First, they rely on multiple, constantly updated data sources for the enrichment. And second, they only sync the most relevant technographics to Pipedrive. The data is curated, it's refined, it's not just a data dump.
That makes sense. What comes after enrichment?
Next is intent scoring. This is where the algorithmic analysis kicks in. It assigns a numerical score based on how often they engage, the value of the content they look at. A pricing page is worth a lot more than a blog post, for instance.
Right.
And that score reflects urgency and qualification. Then finally, you have attribution mapping, which preserves all those vital UTM and campaign parameters and maps them directly to custom fields in Pipedrive. Marketing's efforts are always accounted for.
Okay, so that's collecting and enriching the data outside the CRM. But the rubber really meets the road inside Pipedrive in the interface. How do you make sure all this new data is actually usable for a sales rep?
The integration has to be seamless. Feature one is just creating and updating contacts and organizations. The person and organization sync. Basic, but necessary.
Standard stuff. What's the real game changer here?
Feature two, the activity timeline. This is revolutionary. Every single website interaction, every page view, document download, video watch is logged as a Pipedrive activity with timestamps and URLs.
Wow.
It's like being able to read the prospect's mind before you pick up the phone. You know exactly what they were just looking at.
So the sales rep doesn't have to switch tabs or ask, so what were you looking at? They just look at the timeline.
You could just look. And this leads right into feature three, automated deal creation. High-intent actions like visiting the pricing page 3 times or hitting a certain intent score.
It can just create a deal.
It can immediately trigger a new deal to be created and assigned in Pipedrive, ensuring that rapid follow-up.
That is massive for efficiency.
And then there's feature 4, pipeline stage updates. Deals can actually be pushed through stages based on those behavioral triggers.
Give me an example.
A deal might automatically move from, say, qualified to proposal sent the moment the prospect downloads a quote PDF and then views the testimonials page.
So it's intelligent pipeline automation. The deals aren't just sitting there waiting for a manual update.
Precisely. And the fifth feature is just transparent lead scoring. That numerical score we talked about is visible right inside Pipedrive, telling the rep if this lead is hot now or needs to be nurtured.
And this automation leads directly to the core benefits. Let's talk ROI. For marketing, this has to provide true campaign attribution.
It does. I mean, multi-touch attribution isn't just a buzzword here. We can finally track the entire customer journey, from that first anonymous visit from a LinkedIn ad all the way to the deal closing.
Which means you get closed-loop attribution.
You get genuine closed-loop attribution and content ROI measurement. Marketing can stop guessing. They can track their spend directly to pipeline and revenue and optimize exactly which campaigns accelerate deals.
And to give you a real-world example of that, imagine your marketing team thought their big white paper was the best asset, but the data shows it was actually a small, detailed technical spec sheet that triggered the highest intent scores.
That's the actionable insight.
Yeah.
That tells you to double down on the spec sheet.
Exactly.
Now, if we zoom back into that cybersecurity vertical, the source material details some pretty specialized power-ups. How granular can this prospect profile get in a security context?
It becomes incredibly targeted. The system can integrate threat intelligence feeds to actively flag prospects from industries that are currently under active cyber threat.
Whoa.
Yeah. So if a major bank in the Northeast just suffered a massive breach, every other bank prospect in that region suddenly moves right to the top of your queue. You're not guessing who's urgent. Global threat data is telling you.
And you get immediate tailored talking points through compliance interest tracking.
Right. So this notes engagement with specific regulatory content, like NIST or HIPAA. The sales team immediately knows if the conversation needs to be about audit trails or something else.
So they can walk into that call saying, hey, I noticed you were looking at our HIPAA compliance features.
Let's talk about how we solve that for you.
Exactly. And finally, the system excels at technical role identification. Based on the content someone's looking at, it can detect if the visitor is likely a security engineer or a CISO or just a general IT manager.
So you're not pitching implementation details to a CISO.
You're not. You're making sure the outreach is relevant to their authority. The bottom line here is just minimizing friction and maximizing relevance. Faster responses, informed conversations, and better visibility for managers.
That sums up the application side beautifully. But, the success of this whole architecture really hinges on a robust, transparent technical backbone, especially with this much sensitive data.
Right. Let's get into the engine room. How does the system actually talk to Pipedrive, and what level of security and compliance do you need?
Okay, so on the technical side, it uses two key methods. The Pipedrive RESTful API is how it pushes all that rich data into Pipedrive, creating the people, the deals, the activities.
And the second method?
But for two-way communication, it relies on webhooks.
Explain that difference for us. So think of the API as the truck that delivers all the data to Pipedrive. The webhooks, on the other hand, are like a notification system. Pipedrive can instantly tap the system on the shoulder and say, hey, something just changed here. A deal was manually updated.
Ah, so it ensures everything stays in sync in real time.
Real-time, two-way synchronicity.
And what about securing all this behavioral data? I mean, this is critical information flowing back and forth.
Security and compliance are absolutely non-negotiable. Authentication uses OAuth 2.0 for secure, token-based identity verification. No passwords stored. All data is encrypted in transit using TLS 1.2+, that's bank-grade security, and it's also encrypted at rest in the database.
And compliance. GDPR, CCPA, all that fun stuff.
The foundation has to have built-in consent management. It ensures compliance from the first moment of contact. And that means the system has to be highly transparent about what data it's collecting.
I want to focus on that transparency layer because the source material had this really detailed look at the cookie policy. And it's not just one or two cookies. It shows the complexity required to do this right.
It's an excellent showcase of that trade-off between privacy and intelligence.
Okay.
Beyond the strictly necessary cookies, the ones you can't disable.
Right.
You have four main categories that really fuel this intelligence layer.
Okay, walk us through those four optional categories that make up the sensor.
First are functional cookies. These just support specific features, like video streaming via Vimeo or running Google reCAPTCHA on your forms to stop spam.
Makes sense.
Second, you have analytics cookies. These are for understanding visitor metrics, using tools like Google Tag Manager to see user flow and activity.
Then you move into the categories that give you deeper insight into the why.
Exactly. The performance category really stood out. It mentioned tools like Microsoft Clarity. This goes way beyond simple visitor counts. These tools offer insights like heat maps and even session recordings.
So you can see where people are getting stuck on your site.
You can see exactly where they're getting stuck or where their attention is focused. It's incredibly powerful for optimizing your site.
And the last one.
And finally, you have the advertisement cookies. Google Ads, LinkedIn ads, all of those. They're essential for serving up customized ads based on pages someone has visited before. The whole list just shows the technical complexity required to fuel this while staying legally transparent.
It really does. It shows that to get that complete prospect profile, you need this robust, complex, and transparent system running in the background, constantly monitoring and enriching. We've moved from just managing names and emails to creating this full behavioral timeline that tracks intent, compliance interests, and even their tech footprint.
And if we look at the ultimate strategic value, this provides what you call an open architecture. Your enriched, high-quality behavioral data isn't locked inside Pipedrive. It can sync out to your other systems, your ABM platforms, marketing automation, data warehouses.
So you get consistent, high-quality data across your entire tech stack. That flexibility is critical. It's democratizing the intelligence.
That's it. This data isn't just for sales reps anymore. It's a strategic asset for the whole organization.
And that leads us to our final thought.
Right. If every single click on your website can trigger an automated action, update a deal stage, and notify a sales rep inside Pipedrive, the traditional role of a salesperson shifts completely.
They're no longer researchers.
They're no longer researchers or data entry clerks. They become pure behavioral interpreters, just acting on real-time intent. And that is something for you to mull over as you optimize your own pipeline architecture.
Food for thought indeed. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
My pleasure.
We'll catch you on the next one.
Reach out to us at jbuyer.com for comments and questions. Follow us at Buyer Company on social media. And if you'd be so kind, please rate and review us in your podcast app.